Yo, what's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. Thank you for tuning in. This is Drinks with JD. How many albums have you completed?
Now, Freedom to Conquer, which is out right now, go get that. Go purchase that. All platforms. That's my first real studio album. That's my first real album. Chain Tracks. Before that, we was just doing nothing but mixtapes. And and we was just taking what everybody else does, basically. Just getting beats off of YouTube, rapping on them and shit, and making them your own. That's what the fuck we used to do. But it got to a point where I was like, look, we've been investing so much money into this shit.
And time.
We're not seeing no returns on this because, yeah, we was selling merch and we was doing shows, shit like that. But when it comes to the music itself, it's not gonna, you gotta sell it, man. You gotta have original content. You gotta have original music. So that's what we're focused on right now. And that's what I'm making a big push to make everything we make original. It's not do no mixtape shit. It's not even waste our time.
Now, you mentioned mixtapes. How many mixtapes did you have?
I only had
Before
two.
Freedom to Conquer.
I only had two mixtapes.
Okay.
Now, the first one I did when I was very young, it was called Brown Pride Gangster.
Okay.
And
what year did you?
A lot of people in the hood could tell you about that CD.
What is it called again?
Like I burned a bunch of copies myself and just put them out in the hood for free.
Wow.
Or I was selling them for $5 too.
What was the title?
Brown Pride Gangster.
Brown Pride Gangster.
Brown Pride Gangster.
Okay. Now, why the title?
And this is when I spelled hooligan stupid.
How'd you spell it?
I put WHO-LA-GAN.
Okay.
Or GIN or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
What made you want to do that?
I don't know. I just want to be different.
Okay.
Yeah, just want to be different. I was like, I'm just going to spell it like how you spell hooligan. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? That's why my name is just, I didn't do nothing under the
like
THA
or
DA, you know what I mean? Just Rocky The Hooligan, man. You can find me, just look me up, nigga.
That's awesome. Now, what was your
But yeah, the first mixtape.
Yes.
The first mixtape, Brown Pride Gangster. So there was probably like maybe 8 to 10 tracks on there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just me recording on a fucking computer mic.
Yeah.
With the beat playing. But people was really knocking this shit. Like, it had no bass in it.
Yeah.
And people was really playing this shit in the car because of what I was saying.
Yeah.
And one of the songs, I forgot, it was like Brown Pride. I'm a Brown Pride gangster. Brown Pride, it's all about the Brown Pride gangster.
Okay, so looking back at your old tracks,
Mm-hmm.
right? Obviously, you've been doing it for so long. And for someone right now who's barely starting, what kind of advice do you have for them?
Just do what feels good to you. As far as the music shit, don't try to ride no waves, man. I mean, you could be inspired by new shit, or you get a sound and be like, oh, I should kind of do that with my shit, but always just be yourself. And don't let nobody tell you that you can't make it, because there's sorry motherfuckers out here making money off the shit. So if you got the drive and you really want to do it, you can do it. That's how I feel. I mean, that's what I believe. That's why I ain't quit. You know? That's what I tell them.
How would you tell them to establish themselves? As far as, let's say, platforms, the beats.
Well, now it's so fucking easy because we used to work out the trunk. We used to burn our own fucking CDs over and over and over. We fucking had burning towers and just burned a bunch of CDs, and we used to just go hit the streets. It's that street shit. You know, word of mouth. Go put stacks of CDs on the fucking the counters at the stores and shit. So when people walk in, they're just snatching up a free CD. And that's how you get your shit out. Next thing you know, people in the hood, all over your hood, are bumping your shit. If it's hot, they're going to bump it because it's free. So shit like that. But now instead of CDs, we'll probably have like USBs and shit. Drop them at the store. Or just ask the store clerk, hey, can I leave these here? That's how we used to do it, just guerrilla hustle.
Yeah.
That's how we used to do it. Out the trunk, we'll just pop the trunk and we'll be bumping the shit at the car wash or whatever. We're like, there's a gang of people and they'll be like, oh, that shit's dope. What's that? Like, oh, this is me. You want a CD? And they'll be like, yeah, how much is it? They're like, oh, fucking $5 or whatever. Or if you don't want trunk, be like, here, you can have it.
Yeah.
Just bump it and tell somebody about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's that guerrilla hustling. That's how you get yourself established. I think that's the best way. And then doing shows, man, you got to present yourself. And you can't be coming out there with no bullshit fucking rickety show, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be prepared.
Give a good performance.
Give a good performance, you know, showmanship, bro. Like you practiced the motherfucking shit. You just didn't jump up there with a fucking cup of Henny and you faded and you just like blah blah blah.
Yeah. You gotta be prepared.
You gotta be prepared. You gotta look professional if you're really serious about this shit. Otherwise, just give it up.
Okay.
Just
Now,
move on to something else. You could do something else in music.
Now, what about platforms? Do you suggest they get a SoundCloud, a YouTube?
Definitely. This, you know, all the platforms are very important. That's how people want to get in touch with you. That's what people want to see what you're doing. It's an easy way of just posting what you're doing, and people are like on your same wave. But I guess I don't fuck with it enough. I know I don't fuck with it enough. Like as far as like trying to push my agenda, push my content, I don't really post a lot. But for me, I just feel like, man, I'm gonna do the work on the back end, and the music's gonna speak for itself. The visuals are gonna speak for themselves. If I put it in the right channel, if I put it in the right person's face, they're gonna see it, they're gonna click it, and they're gonna like it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So okay, so we talked about your first mixtape, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you released your second mixtape, did you yourself notice the growth from the first to the second?
And I did.
How so?
I still notice growth to this day. Is what I mean. If we post, if we every new song that we record, every new thing that we want to drop, we should just be improving the quality, or even the content of how we're approaching certain songs. And like, you know, you could just see the growth, man. And everybody, I was developing my style.
Okay.
At that time.
From the first mixtape to the second.
From the first mixtape to the second mixtape, I was young. I was a teenager. By the time I got to the second mixtape, I think I started feeling myself a little bit. Mm-hmm. I was 17, 18, and I was feeling myself.
What was the break in between from the first to the second?
I recorded that I Was Raised in 2006.
And that's what it was called? I Was Raised?
I Was Raised. And no, the mixtape is called On Every Block.
On Every Block.
And there's the song called On Every Block, which got re-recorded, but the first time I recorded On Every Block, that verse, was in 05 or 06 as well. So that's when I started to get my little style. Like, this is how I want to come out. Okay. That's how I feel. Okay. You know?
And On the Block was like kind of a statement of this is the real Rocky the Hooligan.
Right. Okay. I think so.
Not the HOO-LA-
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I changed my name to Rocky the Hooligan. First it was Hooligan, and I spelled it the WHOLAGIN, and then I changed it to Young Hooligan, where I spelled hooligan right, the right way, but it was just Young Hooligan. Mm-hmm. But then later on, and it was maybe 2011, 2012. They're like, why don't you just go by Rocky? And I was like, well, I can't go by just Rocky because there's ASAP Rocky, there's all kinds of Rockies. Yeah. I can't go by just Hooligan because there's all kinds of hooligans as well. Yeah. So I was like, let me just put the things together and call myself Rocky the Hooligan. You know, RTH, whatever. So Rocky the Hooligan has stayed. And, you know, I looked it up. There was no Rocky the Hooligan. You know, I fucking copyright the name and all that shit. So
you're good to go.
Good to go, baby.
That's you.
That's me. RTH. That's how I came up with the name. You know what I'm saying?
So and then after the second mixtape, you came out and you created what I consider an amazing piece of work, which is Freedom to Conquer.
Thank you.
Now, to me, let me describe.
So On Every Block was 2014. Yeah. So I waited a long minute before dropping another project, but I knew that
when did Freedom to Conquer
I knew
drop?
For sure it needed to be an album. I said, I'm not doing this mixtape shit no more. Yeah. This is when we were converting. We're like, dog, why are we still doing mixtapes?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You wanted to drop an official album.
And even though On Every Block and the other one, Brown Pride Gangster, were like, you could call those both mixtapes, and there's hella copies of them floating around. I did a lot of other shit, but I just never put it out.
Why not?
I don't know.
What made you hesitate?
For one, just the time and effort it takes to burn all the CDs and get it out. Okay. And then for two, I didn't think it was good enough. A lot of them songs were trash. Okay. I didn't want to put that shit out like that. I was like, nah, I really need to focus and put something good, like something that makes sense all the way through. I wanted an album. Yes. You know, people don't do albums no more. They do EPs, or they drop a couple songs at a time, and they don't even match up. Like, I remember when albums had a fucking intro, it was a fucking story. Like, this song, they play into each other. There's a rhythm, there's a flow. And fucking skits, outro, you know what I'm saying?
For sure,
Those were for sure albums, you know. You're older than me. you know how we used to get down with the classic albums. You open the shit up with the booklets and all that. So I just wanted to kind of give a feel of like a classic album with the Freedom to Conquer, because I was like, it has to flow.
How do you feel about Freedom to Conquer?
I love it, but when I play it back sometimes, I feel like it's really sad. Like a lot of the songs are sad, but maybe I was just sad when I was writing them songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I was just in my box. Like, and I just had to get that shit out. Like I said, it's therapy, bro. So the shit that I'm saying on it is really real. But when I listen to it, it's not fun. It's not a fun album. It's just some heartfelt shit. There's vibes on there, like Blue Franklin and Get Faded With Me. So, of course, you could turn up to that. But...
Or Get Your Squad Up.
When I listen to the whole... Or Get Your Squad Up. Yeah. And that's a quick little... Yeah, for sure. So I had to throw those in there at least to bring the fucking feeling up a little bit. Yeah. Like, damn, nigga, why you so depressed?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, can I
like it. I think it's a good body work. And I hope you guys do too.
Well, let me at least describe a picture, or paint this picture for the audience who haven't listened to Freedom to Conquer. Because, I mean, with my perspective, obviously, we thank you for elaborating on how you feel about your own album.
Right.
But as a fan who heard the album, and I've heard it multiple times, you know, from the first track to the last track, you know, and something that I compare it to, describing it to the audience, is Jay-Z's 444 album or Nas's Life Is Good album.
Really?
Because, yes.
I'm like, really?
Yes. Because...
Thank you, dog. Because appreciate that shit. I put some thought into it, for sure. And I put some thought into the sequencing of the tracks.
For sure.
To make sure it flowed. I listened to that shit front and back. I wanted to make sure you could just press play and let it all go. And there's 10 tracks of just fire. Just let it go. That's what I wanted. I wanted an album that you could just let play.
No, and that's exactly what it is. I could listen to the whole entire album. Yeah.
There might be one or two, like you're like, I heard this one too much or something, and you'll click it. But nah, for the most part, you can let the shit roll, man. There's no bullshit on it.
Now let me elaborate to my statement on the 444 and also Life Is Good.
Okay.